Jeez. To the point with Mike Leo.
How you doing?
What's going on,
Welcome
guys?
back.
You alright, Leo?
August 23rd.
Yeah, I'm good.
We are live on
man.
Leo's laughing at
Facebook
himself.
and YouTube.
I'm laughing at myself because I just posted a picture of myself on Instagram. And I look kind of goofy, you know, and I'm like, I'll give it a few minutes and I'll take that bitch down. But it's what, you know, it's, social media's pretty fucked up if you think about it. I mean, you put
so
out,
vain.
yeah, you put out there, bad energy. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you say or what you do, but no matter what you put out there on social media, 85% of it is going to be bad energy.
Well, think of the generation. My generation, we got away with childhood without the internet.
Well, what kills me about social media is like when people post stuff, and it might just be somebody may just ask a simple question. Like I agree with you, the 95%, they get roasted. Yeah. Like we're part of a group for a place we like to go ride in River Ranch, and like, man, somebody could ask, "Is it wet out there? You know, is it wet or dry?" And that person will get so many freaking crazy.
And it's like, it's a simple question, man.
I'm in other groups, like pressure cleaning groups, like business owners, and
right.
When somebody like young in the business asks, I mean, sometimes they're dumb questions, but you don't learn.
Right.
You don't learn unless you ask those.
You
dumb
were probably
questions
asking the same question when you first started.
Well, sometimes it's a very obvious answer, you know.
Right.
So, but they get like.
But some people don't know that because they've never, you know, been out in the field or
well, they
done
have.
something.
They're just ignorant.
Right. You know.
They all have.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know. It's just bad energy. People always put out bad energy. I don't care what they say or what they do. You know.
I mean, some of it's
my energy. My energy. I put out bad energy. You know. I might tell you that I'm happy, but I'm not. But I'm telling you that, and social media is telling you that, and it's gonna tell you that. So it's bad energy. You know. But I'm thinking to myself. Okay, yeah, it's good, but is it good? No.
Yeah, you never know.
You never know. Crazy. But then again, if we don't have social media, how can we communicate with people? You know, because some people do that. I told you 85% of it is bad energy, but that 15%, there's that 50% that is
it's nice
good energy.
to keep up with old friends that you don't see on a regular basis.
Like Mike said, you know, you get some information off of it as well. You know, it's not always bad energy, you know, but we could raise that good energy from 15% at least to 20%. But then again, that's where we get all our information from, you know, or some of it, because some of it's fake news. I don't care what they say. There's always going to be fake news out there.
Well, you never know. I mean, there's so many influencers out there that just they get the views from their niche, you know, and
yeah, absolutely.
You don't know what's going on.
But yeah, like
behind there. And it's all social media. And it's all, if you think about it, though, it's all in vain.
But see, you know what?
Those types of things for clicks and views, though, that's all in vain.
You're right.
We were talking about that the other day as far as, like, we were. You know, you see some of these little, they're what do you call them? Where you do, like, a little thing.
Like a little reel, like a little 15-minute reel, like a little skit.
Short skit. That's it.
Like
that's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
They're little skits, and they make it look like, I ran into this person on the sidewalk. If they give me a follow on my account, I'm gonna buy them anything they want in the store. Was one of the ones that we had seen.
Yeah.
And it's like, you know, it's just a skit. You know,
it's a group of friends, you know, just to get the likes, get the shares, and get stuff like that. You know.
Right.
Yeah, it's crazy. You know, just I don't know. But then there again, you know, like I'm gonna go back to the thing, like that's an actual job. Like some people actually work, that's their job, you know,
to
like
try to get clicks
to try to get that one click, to try to get that one like, you know, like they could that video or that skit or whatever that could be 15 seconds, but what was all that work put in behind it? You know, I'm sure there was hours or maybe even days put in for that for those 15 seconds.
Yeah, some of them for sure. They
That's another thing I like to talk about. You know, it's like us. You know, they might say, "Oh, you guys have a podcast. You guys do this. You guys do." Yeah, we do that.
Yeah, we don't know what.
You know, no, we do.
Yeah, we're just.
No, we do. But then there again, they don't see everything that goes behind it. You know, like we have to leave our families behind. You guys have to leave your family. I have to leave my family behind. You know, just to come here and do what we do. You know, like it's not just oh, we get on the microphone and start speaking. You know, like there's things that we have to do. We set up, we break down. You know, people don't see that. People don't know that. Same thing with like people's like accomplishments and stuff like that. You know, like they don't see it. They just see the results and they're like, oh, okay, yeah, it looks good. Oh yeah, look at them. They're flashing. They did this. Okay, but did you see all the work that people had to put behind there to be where they're at now? You know, but some people are crooks too. I don't know.
Yeah,
there's a lot of con artists out there, and
a lot of good
like
ones
especially
too.
Online though. Everybody's
definitely.
selling you something.
Yeah, everybody's trying to sell you something, and it's the same product, same exact product. You know, the other day I was looking at a seasoning, you know, because I like to cook. And I was looking at a seasoning, right? And I was looking at one, and I was like, well, you know what? I'm not a person to look at the ingredients, see what it's made from, and see this. I just, hey, it looks good. It looks good. It is what it is. I'm not a healthy eater, I'm going to say, you know. I don't see how much sodium it has or whatever. It just,
you don't buy based on the ingredient label. You buy on eye appeal.
Right, exactly. Bingo, to the point. And then the other day I was like, well, you know what? Let me look at this ingredient and let me look at these ingredients. It was exactly the same ingredients. Same ingredients, literally word by word. Just labeled different.
Different name on it.
Different name on it. One was for like an all-purpose, and then the other one was like a beef rub. Same thing. Except one was like $1 higher than the other one.
The all-purpose was probably higher.
Yeah. And I was like, what the hell, man? Like,
it's all-purpose.
I was like, seriously? Like, why not just make one and be done with it, man? Like, you're spending more money doing all this than what it's going to cost you.
Making two things?
Yes, it was the same company. I was just like, whatever, man.
Two different marketing schemes.
Yeah, I was just like, whatever.
I'm trying to figure out what the hell I did with our chat window.
I didn't buy it. I was like, I'm not buying it.
What kind of thing was it?
It was I'm boycotting.
Like a seasoning.
It was a rub, and it was really good. You know, because I was going through my pantry, and I was going through all the stuff that I had there, and there was an empty container. And I wrote on it, save to reorder. You know, because it was empty. Because I must have liked it. That's why I probably wrote on the thing, save to reorder or whatever. And I left it there. So I went online and looked at it, and then I was like, damn, that's pretty expensive, man. I ain't gonna buy that again. Like, I don't remember paying that much for it. And then I just kept looking and kept researching, other things that's similar to it and stuff like that. And I was like, well, let me look at their all-purpose. Boom. Bingo. $1 more, baby.
Same thing.
Same thing. I was like, nah, I'm not buying it. I'll find something else. Why give them my money, man? Like, it's just, I don't know. It's a little crazy.
Well, that's like if you're looking for something on Amazon, I mean, you will find that same product, exact same thing, relabeled by like 10 different companies. Most of them will probably be in the same price point, but then you'll have a couple that are much more expensive, and you got people that'll just, they think they're buying higher quality while it's the exact same thing that was the other one for $20 less.
Yeah, you gotta look at the reviews. Ask Mike. Mike's pretty good at leaving reviews behind.
Oh man, I got real good over the last week.
I leave some reviews too on Amazon.
Yeah, no, it's real good. No, but that's good though. Look, like reviews are good. Like it actually tells. But then there also could be some reviews that are bad that could hurt your business. You know.
Usually, most of the reviews I go to do are positive reviews.
Yeah, why not?
But every now and then I'll get a product that just really pisses me off, and I'll go in there and
these
try to
dudes that have an equipment company that I follow. They must have got a bad review from somebody that was probably a dumbass, and they usually roast them or something. I don't know, but I can pretty much from following these guys over the past year or so, he kind of gets rubbed the wrong way, and then in the sake of Karen or they them, he throws some like mega sale, and he did a BOGO thing. So for 5-star reviews, he was sending you the same exact thing you bought from his Amazon store. But it was
That was pretty good, though.
Reviews can make or break you. I mean, especially having a business of my own.
It was a BOGO?
To get those, yeah.
Does he sell ammo?
No. It's pressure cleaning equipment, stuff like that. But, I forgot where I was going with that.
The reviews could kill you.
Oh, yeah, having a small business. Yeah, like those Google reviews and stuff like that are, they're worth money. Some guys pay their customers to give them a 5-star review.
Give them a discount and say, hey, you want to do a 5-star review instead of $800, I'll charge you $600.
Yeah, they definitely do that, definitely. But anyways, what were we going to talk about tonight? What were we talking about? We were talking about social media.
Social media.
I saw this one chick that I've never heard of her before until I seen the article, but she was some type of Snapchat or some type of TikToker, did a video of her topless hanging out of a car in a freaking street sign, took her head off.
I heard about
killed
that.
her, yeah.
I think that's old, isn't it?
Yeah,
maybe.
I heard about it a couple weeks ago.
Must have resurfaced or something like that.
Yeah, that's somewhere in Arizona, Mexico, somewhere like that, I think it was. It's old, I think. Unless it happened again.
Remember the girl we talked about before on here that kind of went nuts on the plane because some guy was like...
Oh, yeah, it was not human.
So recently...
she came out.
Yeah, she came out and did an apology and said, everybody has, that moment in their life where they look back on it and they wish, they could do it different and, where they just lost it. So she came out and did, like, an apology. I didn't actually see it. I just saw, like, them reporting that she had done it. And little bits and pieces of
it. Who's that? Sorry.
The lady that went nuts on the plane. I don't remember her name.
Oh, yeah. I don't know her name, but she did come out finally.
To get off the plane.
And she's, like, an executive of a finance company. And
I wonder how that affected her job. Just curious.
It was her company.
Oh, so it was her company.
I don't know, but in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I don't know.
Somewhere around there.
So I got chats.
She was like, yeah, it's...
Sean said at the beginning, yeah, but if I'm digging a gold mine and you asked me for info, I'm going to tell you that I'm digging silver. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
I seen that.
You got my analogy. That. Then he said something about you all lie. He must be talking about y'all, not me. I'll never rub your beef. Okay, so boycott the rich. Yeah, well, what if you become rich? What if you work your ass off and you become rich? I bet it was a stop sign. It was something. There was probably red flags up all over the place.
Heck yeah.
Talking about that model. So,
no, but anyways.
Like, speaking of, though, I don't know why we're speaking of, but I come across somebody else's post that reminded me of it. Tonight's the I call it the vice president's debate. Not that any of them really are going to be the vice president, but it's no Trump. He'll be doing, his interview with Tucker Carlson will be released tonight at the same time the debate's supposed to start. But it'll be DeSantis and Ramaswamy center stage at the debate. There'll be other ones there too you probably never even heard of. Me, I've heard of almost all of them. There's a couple I haven't, but most of them I've heard of them over the years. But is that something you would watch? It's on Fox News. I don't know. They're like very strict on their copyright.
At this point, I mean, if I was just at home and sitting around, I'd probably watch it. But I'm not gonna make it a point to be home to watch it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't really see either one of these two guys being president unless Trump isn't available for whatever reason.
Well, that's just it. Their point is, what if they take Trump off the ballot? Governor Newsom of California, he's asking their legislation to pass a bill that would bar Trump from being on their ballot. And I forget, I heard somebody on the internet say he only needed a couple 100,000 more votes in any swing state, and it's his. With the numbers the way they are today.
What's the one guy's name? Wakusami or whatever?
Ramaswamy.
Ramaswamy.
Vivek, him and DeSantis.
From what I've seen from him, I would pick him right now over DeSantis.
I like him. Some people think he's bought, but I mean DeSantis is definitely
I
bought.
think it's proven he's been bought.
And I heard the rumor, he's got Soros's money, George Soros. But that they said the same thing about DeSantis. It was debunked. I don't buy it. I think he's pretty legit. He's self-made. He's another businessman. I don't know how I would like him as a vice president, maybe as a secretary of state, but I think he would be very good at running a government also. DeSantis, I don't know, man. He lost me.
Yeah.
His campaign, not him necessarily. I mean, he went with it.
His whole team should be fired.
Well, he just swapped out. A campaign manager. But the one woman is horrible. Like if you are Republican and you speak out against them, they will trash you. So if I can imagine the pressure a local politician might feel if they've gotten the governor's endorsement in their last election, especially how tight and crazy the social issues have been, the pressure they have now endorsing Ron DeSantis for president. Because his team, they're ruthless. They're just trash. They don't care if you're a Republican or not. I've seen them do it to other, and flat out lies, and some of their campaign ads are just downright freaking racist and horrible, and they blame one person, they fire somebody. But I don't know. I'm not much of a DeSantis person. I think he did pretty good with Florida. I think he needs to finish out his job, and then maybe
before this campaign, I'm
just afraid of another
DeSantis person, but
I don't want another Bush.
Yeah, I think this campaign, in my eyes, has hurt him. Not saying he can't repair it. I just don't think he can repair it for this election.
DeSantis?
Yeah. I think his
if you think about
his best bet is being the vice president.
His best bet is just stay where he's at. Try again next time.
I would prefer he stay where he's at. But
well, I'll tell you why. Because he's only got the track record he's got because of legislation he's got. The people, the representatives like Randy Fine and who's the one from this area, Robbie Brackett, or some of the other, like the people that make up our state legislation are really what got DeSantis's things going. If it wasn't for legislation, he wouldn't be as successful as he is today. Now, how would he be at the national level? We've seen what it can do at the national level. There's nothing unifying in Washington, so I don't know how he would do. I mean, I like his experience, his track record as a JAG lawyer, I guess, in the Navy or something like that. So it's the left wing and the right wing is the same bird. It's a uniparty. Unfortunately, that's what we're stuck with. Giuliani had to turn himself in today, along with a few other lawyers. Yeah. So they're going after Trump, and that's why they're doing it in Georgia too, because it's a swing state. So if they can take Georgia away from Trump, it probably doesn't seem very successful unless he wins over the same amount of delegates somewhere he wouldn't have, But it's going to be DeSantis needs to go back to Mexico. I don't even know if he's from Mexico. I think he's one of those fake Hispanics. I don't know. DeSantis. There's nothing DeSantis about him. Needs to go.
He ain't no
I don't know
saint
why
to me.
the chat comes through twice, so it kind of screws me up now. But
he ain't no saint to me.
No, I don't care. I mean, I liked what he did for us during COVID. Let's hope that's another thing. Maybe I shouldn't have said those swear words on here, but there's talk of more mandates coming down. There's some companies that have already implemented safety mandates in their buildings and in their places of work. So how is that going to go down again here? How is that going to go down? Like, I'm sure that's going to be a big question tonight on that debate stage.
What time was that going to be?
It starts tonight at 9:05 or something like that.
Yeah.
I think it's supposed to go till 11, and there's like 8 of them or 10 of them.
Oh, wow.
So that's the problem I have with this debate is you're not even going to get to hear DeSantis and Vivek Ramaswamy go toe-to-toe because everybody's got to split up all this time. It's just ridiculous. There might even be more than 8. So why would Trump even show up? They're making a big spectacle out of it. He doesn't need to show up. He's already got the nomination if he runs. You know, if he goes to jail, guess what? He's going to be the first president elected while he's in jail.
Right.
How is that going to turn out? I think if he goes to jail, and I think if he is elected, that's going to be a trying time for America, because how is the current government going to handle that? Because it's not immediate, right? It's not immediate. He doesn't take over office on November 3rd or 7th, whatever the hell it was.
You get elected, but it's like, what, 2 months?
January 20th or 20-something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Before you move
forgive
in.
me on the details, but yeah. So it's kind of like, you know, does the sitting president immediately pardon him?
Well, the current one's not going to pardon him.
Would you, though? Let's say you're the sitting president, your opponent from a different party, arch enemy, was just elected president. The right thing to do would be
You would
pardon.
look like a complete ass if you didn't.
You would definitely inspire, I think, a civil war.
The guy just won,
and I'm
so...
pretty sure the people pulling the puppet strings behind Joe Biden would not let him sign a pardon for Trump.
I agree.
No way.
I think they would rather there be a war at that point if they lost.
What's that?
I think they would rather there be a war anyways if they at that point if they lost.
Well, there's people in this country that do. They want a war. Sean says he won't go to jail. If Georgia has... Here's
I might
the thing.
be one of those people, Mike.
Here's the thing.
I kind of want our current government to get overthrown and reset.
Well, Jesus, easy what you say on here. As far as Trump going to jail,
you know
what? They're gonna get him. They've already said they're gonna have him in there for the mugshot. He's gonna have to go through the process, but they're gonna rush him through there.
I heard he's supposed to turn himself in tomorrow.
I guess it's tomorrow. I'll be paying attention, but the facility isn't equipped to hold him long term. It's gonna be in and out just like everybody else, but much faster. And he's gonna have Secret Service and his henchmen all around him. He'll be okay.
You know what? If I was Trump, I don't know why he fucking hasn't done it. You know, he's got the balls and I'm sure he's thought about it, but his people behind him, they're like, no, you can't do that, or you know, it's just got to be, you know, he's probably like, you know what? Fuck it, let him elect me. I'll run this bitch from the fucking cell. How about that?
Well, he'll be out once he's in charge.
No, he can pardon himself right away.
Okay, but then
once he becomes president. But you know, that's what I'm saying. You don't
just saying,
become president right away.
Yeah, right. You don't become president right away. You have like 2 months or whatever. But I'd be like, you know what? Fuck it. I get better treatment here. I don't have to deal with y'all BS out there. I'll stay here. Hey, and I'll still run it. How about that? You guys don't scare me. And guess what?
He's gonna make sure Biden gets locked up.
Boom.
Mayor Giuliani,
Rudy Giuliani,
his mugshot. He looks pretty pissed off.
He's pretty old.
He's
pretty. He's pretty run down.
I kind of hope. Part of me, sometimes I don't like it when Trump is a little smug, but I kind of hope for his mugshot. I just kind of hope he's got a smile on his face.
I don't have it right now, but.
He should have
here's the guys. Here's the guys that are going to be on the debate stage tonight.
That would be funny. You're fired.
So I'll take this from Facebook. This is State Representative Randy Fine's Facebook page. He says it's debate day. Going into tonight, who are you supporting? And he's got like for Trump, DeSantis, Ramaswamy, Mike Pence, Tim Scott, and then he says cry for the others: Chris Christie, Nikki Haley, Borgum, which I don't even know who, and Hutchison, who I thought he died, and angry if you're undecided. So so I'm gonna look on here, and so there's 101 likes for Donald Trump, 39 loves for DeSantis, 6 hugs for Ramaswamy, which I think they're shortchanging him. I think he's good. Crying for the others, they've only got 4. 3 people are undecided.
Trump's the biggest name, followed by DeSantis. So
So
it's the people that those are the 2 guys that everybody knows.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard of Wally Sami or whatever.
Vivek Ramaswamy.
Yeah,
I can't remember his name. Vince.
I mean, I'm bad with names, man.
So
but that's a
I've
crazy
only
one.
seen him.
I
tell you how
until he
why I
started
like
running.
him. He was on. Of course, y'all know I watch Timcast every night, almost every other night, whatever. I follow up on it, and he does a Friday show when it's a different format during the day where it's like one-on-one, and it's a couple hours with just like one person. And he did one with this guy, and he just very smart, like you're able to listen to him. He made a lot of sense, but and I liked his policy about, you know, voting rights and stuff like that. You know, I think it should be something earned, not just something thrown around like it's, you know, free for everybody. You know,
Right.
even if it's just something simple as registering for the draft or you know, passing a civics test in high school before you graduate. You know, as you become older, that's when you begin to vote anyways. Why not?
Yeah.
But
No,
anyways, I think it's going to be Trump too. I think it's going to be crazy. I'm a little nervous about what some parts of the country will look like though. What you got there, Leo? You got some live footage right there?
Of us.
Trump.
What did Sean say?
What did Sean just
Mark
said?
my words. I wanted to know what he said before that.
Before that, he said, it's weird. It's doubling it up, but he's going to be elected president and pardon himself. But there's going to be like there's going to be like 2 months.
Right.
Elected president in like 2.5 months before he's actually sworn in as president. And how is that going to happen? Does a Supreme Court justice go down to Fulton County, Georgia, where the president is being held, and swear him in? Can you imagine what we look like as a country? Can you imagine what we look like to other countries across the world?
I mean,
we already hated us.
We already
anyways
look horrible
for being badass.
Completely
Now we
honest
look
with
like
you.
a freaking joke.
Yeah, we already look like a joke, but yeah,
Right.
that would
It's
take
like,
it to a whole nother
we
level.
go from badass, like hated for our might, to hated because we're freaking. We might as well change the colors of our flag to the rainbow. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah, Sean says, mark my words, he's going to be elected president and pardon himself. Trump. It's going to be a comedy show because they are not going to be able to talk about Trump, so they have to talk about each other, and it's going to be a shit show. It'll be interesting. It's going to be a comedy. Yeah, see, it's doubling up. Anyways, yeah, so it's going to definitely be interesting. I mean, I like Ramaswamy. I like DeSantis, but he kind of ruined it for me. And you guys really haven't even heard of him. I'm definitely not a Mike Pence fan.
No,
Tim
I cannot
Scott's
stand Mike Pence, actually.
Tim Scott's nice, but he just doesn't. And he ain't gonna get it. I don't think. Maybe not this time around. Chris Christie is a fucking
sleeping in
slob.
Maui.
Chris Christie's a slob. Yeah, I had that up on here somewhere, but everything got juggled around.
So I guess I heard when he went to Maui and he did a little speech about the tragedy going on there. Like, he started talking about like a tragedy his family went through like 50 something years
like
ago.
Kitchen fire.
And it came across as like, so, you know, here these people are just lost everything, and you know, he's more concerned with something that happened to his family 50 years ago. Like, it wasn't taken well. He was getting a lot of backlash for it.
Well, I mean, that's what happens when you get a little bit older. You forget about what's
I
going
can't
on
remember
now.
how much money they're giving them.
Right here. Joe Biden just fell asleep in the middle of his meeting with victims of the Maui fires. That's on Mike Wallace's page, which he kind of gets a little crazy, but I mean, this is believable though. So it's like, look, he's nodding off. I don't know what they're showing. They try to change up, but he's sleeping.
I heard they're giving everybody in Maui like some. It's not even that much money. Like, I don't remember if it was
That's
like
crazy, though, isn't it, though?
$700 or $15. Even if it was $1,500, like, it's like they just everything got burnt down. That you don't even have any place to live. What?
So Vince, so let me ask you this, right?
This is Ramaswamy, Vivek.
Vince, you believe in
I've seen
aliens,
videos
Vince?
of them. What?
You believe in aliens, Vince?
I believe there's something out there, Leo.
Let's get into it.
So what if
Let's slide right into it.
So what if somebody asked you, say, "Hey, Vince, we have a mission, and this mission is you're gonna go see where aliens are at, right? You're gonna go to an alien world, okay? But when you come back, you are no longer Vince Scafetta. You will no longer remember anything.
Oh, like they wipe your memory?
Oh,
Everything.
so let's say
They wipe you out.
a
You have
10-year mission, right?
Yes.
10-year mission.
Wipe
You got nothing holding you back.
You have nothing holding you back. You have.
But you wipe your identity.
In my current
when you come
shoes,
back, you're not who you were.
In my current shoes, not having kids, I'd probably go.
You'd be taken care of afterwards.
You'd be taken care of.
If you made it
But
back.
If you made it back.
And a part of me is saying to myself, well, if I don't remember any of it,
See if I find
that's like it doesn't. It's not worth it.
You might remember it. You might remember it.
But I think
But
if
nobody's
I
gonna
was in
believe you
y'all's
because
shoes with kids,
you are no longer
and, a family.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I gotta. First off, you don't want to probably leave your family for 10 years, and then second, not to even remember them or anything.
I think it was a little bit longer.
You
but
wouldn't
what'd
be
you say,
able to
Tim?
be in contact. First of all, you probably wouldn't be chosen if you had a lot
Right.
of outside contact
Right.
to begin with. But
Right.
let's say you were a military dude, you just didn't have a social life. They probably noticed you don't go home on leave or nothing. You don't do any incoming or outgoing mail. You're just a military badass.
Fuck it, I'll do it.
You're one of 13 people.
12.
12. Was it 12? Yeah.
Well, there is a
the
mission.
same thing. I know where he's going with that.
Well, there is a mission, Vince. I can't remember what the name of the mission is called. Do you remember what the name of the mission is called?
Project Serpo.
Yes, Project Serpo. So the government, I believe this, the government had this Project Serpo, right? And everything that I just told you, I believe it happened. They made it happen, right? So they got in contact with aliens. They crashed. An a UFO crashed back in, what was it?
It's in the
Back in
60s.
In the 60s, right? So they made
originally, I think Roswell. It was the Roswell
Roswell, yes, the
aliens that
Roswell.
had crashed. A few of them died, except for one.
Except for one. So then they got a lot of information out of them, where they were giving each other, they were trading off each other. I'll tell you this, you tell me this,
If they'd help it get back home,
Yes, but home was so far away,
they had to get a message out to them.
Right.
And their communication systems were different.
Help
or
me out
something
here,
like
Mike.
that, right?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So they, it was a friendly. God dang, what in the hell?
It was a friendly.
It was a friendly race to us or whatever. So they agreed to do this kind of. I don't know what the prisoner, like not the prisoner, but the exchange was. But these they welcomed these 12 guys, and they all had like specific specialties. They were all like either a couple were doctors, a couple of guys were like security guys.
If you're gonna send 12 people, you're gonna want a mixture of you're gonna want a mixture of skill sets.
Right. So they gathered.
And they were
these
welcomed.
They were welcome. So they gathered these 12 people, right? It was like Mike said, like 2 doctors. One of them might have been a lawyer. One of them might have been just
they rendezvoused with another ship.
I'm sure they probably wanted to send men and women.
This was just a bunch of men.
Bunch of men. Yes. So then they told them they told them to gather enough stuff that they were wanting to bring. They brought vehicles. They brought
a couple jeeps, couple motorcycles.
Motorcycles.
It was like 19 pallets or something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah. They got in contact with their people, and they came to rendezvous to get their guy back and their bodies back, and take these 12 guys back with them, so they can do some kind of like trade of knowledge.
So they could do trade of knowledge. So they could teach them.
So they rendezvoused with a transporter ship, and they transferred all the 19 pallets or something like that of materials and food and stuff like that. And when they left to go to their planet, which I can't remember the name, maybe it was Serpo. I don't know.
Serpo. I think it was just Serpo.
And it didn't take very long. And maybe it did. I'm not sure.
I think it was like 10
months.
10 months.
Was it 10 months?
10 months to get to Serpo.
And it was like 40 light years away,
or
their
planet, or their planet, or whatever.
And one of their guys died along the way.
Yes.
So the security guy and the doctors, they were pissed off. They wanted their guy,
because they want to do like a proper
they said
burial.
They wouldn't give them their guy. Like these people, these beings in this ship didn't speak, but telepathy, I guess. And come to find out, they do speak. But
eventually, they were able to communicate each other because they would learn.
I guess they learned English,
a little bit broken.
But some, from what I gather, according to their story, some people or some things at the planet they went to knew English already. But
yes, there was a translator that was already waiting for them when they got people there. And they described this place as a very
they
dry.
Couldn't give him they couldn't give him the guy because they said it was a quarantine, so they bought it. They said, okay, whatever. And they get to the planet. They get settled in.
And
they want to go get the guy. They want to give him a proper burial. And they said, no, you can't do that. Anyways, the translator ends up taking them to where they have them, and it's in a laboratory where they're like making cross breeds of all kinds of different monsters and stuff, and they're trying to replicate humans and dog heads. And
I don't know what you guys are talking about. We're talking about aliens.
It got deep, though. It got pretty deep.
Yeah, aliens. So this guy died, right, Vince? And then once they got there, these aliens, I don't know what they called them themselves or whatever. I'm just going to call them aliens. They took this man's body apart, and they were growing other, like, monsters, like other, like, species out of this person's.
I don't think it was just
organs.
him.
No,
it was just other creatures.
There's other creatures.
That they were morphing into just for whatever they found along the way.
Yeah, they're just.
But I don't.
Anyways, so those 12 people went up there for 10 years. They learned everything about the alien world, like how they lived, and like. They said that they didn't really know what kind of religion or what they believed in, but they did go to like some kind of reunions and stuff like that together. You know, they said they described the place as like there was two suns, like one sun and two suns. It was never dark. It was always hot. It was always the temperature was I think they said 107.
So it took a long time for these guys to get used to being there.
Yes, because
actually for 10 years.
Yes, 10 years. So eventually they said, hey, listen, it's a little bit too hot for us here. Can you guys move them somewhere else? And eventually they did move them somewhere where it was a little bit more cooler. They said the temperature was like 75 or 76, you know? Yeah. And they said it was nice greenery, you know, it kind of looked more like Earth to them.
I believe so they believe in the story, in the guy's report, they mentioned God.
Yes.
As just God, not their God or our
they
God.
They just said God.
Yeah.
They actually, one of the guys that was traveling with them was like a person that would write everything down. He was like
ordered to maintain a detailed diary.
Detailed diary. So this is what they were reading. Yeah, this is what they were reading off this man's diary. Everything that was happening and stuff like
supposedly.
That. Yeah, and he was saying that it looked like Arizona, California, you know, like
it was dry,
not California,
desert,
but like Arizona, you know, desert.
But they ended up coming. Well, most of them came back home. The one guy, I think, one died. 2 decided to stay.
I think only 8 came back.
And 8 came back.
8 came back. 2 of them decided to stay.
Yeah. 2, like maybe another one died. I don't know, but I remember a couple stayed. It was kind of like, wow.
And one guy ended up here in Florida, South Florida. I think it was like Fort Lauderdale or something like that. Yep.
And so in his diary, did they describe what they looked like at all?
Yeah, I think if I'm correct, I think it did. I'll send you the link, Vince, so you can look at it. It's the guy that's saying the podcast. You know, he was talking about it, and I was like, wow, man, like. I believe in aliens, and I believe the government did this. That's how they know about this stuff. We still have communication with the aliens. We did something to the aliens. We did something to these people to piss them the fuck off that now they're in here messing around with us. We did something to them, or we gave out more information, or we didn't give them something that some kind of trade happened, Vince. That it's not colliding, man. These people are coming back. They want their shit. Whatever the government didn't give them, they're coming back. They're gonna get it. You know, they're coming back. I don't care what they say, Vince. If this happens, this thing that they say, we gave 12 people to them to give us knowledge, to trade off something. You know, how do you think they made this movie, The Independence Day? You know, how did we know about these big old flying saucers back then?
Yeah, there's so many different stories that kind of align.
How do we know this?
Even before like telegraphs and stuff like that, there were different parts of the world with the same correlated
Sean's
stories.
like, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
Yeah. I just got caught up with the chats over here. That's why I'm
just
I was laughing at what he said before too, about the cat, Trump or
I'm not gonna
Biden's
post
cat.
that one.
What?
You say, what the fuck are you guys talking about?
But yeah, man, it's just I believe in aliens, Vincent. I believe we traded. I do believe the story. I do believe the diary of this guy saying that he was one of the recipients that went up there and he volunteered to go and learn this stuff
and came back. It's kind of crazy to me. I mean, I think some guys have debunked the stories and took it back and did some tracing through emails of IP addresses, and it kind of correlated with like 5 other names that were known for like telling some whacked out alien stories in different parts of the world, country or something like that. There's like some Mount Shasta that's got a lot of history about UFO sightings, and somehow it correlates with nuclear explosions and stuff like that.
Like, I've always wanted to know what's so important about Area 51.
Supposedly that's where an alien spacecraft crashed back in the 40s. Roswell, New Mexico. It's just outside.
Supposedly they got a spacecraft and
bodies
of aliens.
I believe it. Yeah, that's why they don't let us see it, because that's where it's at. I've can't
seen
remove
some
it.
funky shit. I've seen some funky shit. I think if there's other life out there, it's us. Maybe not us, but like other humans, maybe more advanced, maybe not. Either way, I still believe we were created by one God, but
scary.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to think that. I mean, even if you look back, you get into the science of it. I think civilization has crashed and rebuilt itself every 6 million years or something like that. I forget what the numbers were, but there's been other civilizations before us that were highly advanced, but now gone, completely gone. Like we're like some of the artifacts they find in the Indian Ocean or in the Bahamas that kind of correlate with Atlantis. Kind of plays into that theory that it was from a lost civilization.
And a lot of
the last life cycle 60 million years ago or some shit.
And a lot of the belief is it's like an ice age every so often that
the
just
whole
like
life cycle
wipes everything off, and the Earth just starts over.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it.
It wouldn't surprise me. I mean, it's definitely. I definitely believe it's feasible.
Yeah, that's Florida. What else were we gonna freaking? We were gonna talk about those aliens, Project Serpo. Yeah. I watched that story from a guy on YouTube. He's got a channel called the Y Files. He gets pretty in depth, but he also gets realistic in the last few minutes, and goes into some details that bring you back down to earth.
That's funny. When you said the Y Files, it made me think of something we talked about earlier this week. Talking about kids today, if you say the X-Files, they probably think we're talking about like a porn website or something.
Yeah.
They don't even know what the X-Files are.
Yeah, so I won't be seeing any of the debate because it's on Fox News and I don't pay for that crap.
You don't pay for Fox News?
No, I don't pay for Fox News. How about that fire in Hawaii? I can't believe we were going to not talk about that.
Well, we did a little bit as far as like Biden had said about.
Oh, he fell asleep.
He did his speech.
But how, like, some area. What about the conspiracies behind that?
They said something about, like, what was it, lasers?
What are you doing to my thing?
There's things like, I don't know.
Yeah.
Some lasers or something like that?
Some things were burned and some weren't.
But some stuff that was blue was not burned.
Right. I seen the same thing. Yeah, it was kind of crazy.
I was like, wait a minute.
Like, these lasers can be trained not to burn a certain color.
So
they showed pictures of like blue roofs, blue umbrellas, and then they said why
Oprah's house didn't burn down?
And all these other big billionaires why is their shit painted blue, and why is their stuff not burnt down?
And how did they know about it?
Man, I heard nasty stuff. Like there's still a bunch of people missing. Kids, like busloads of kids are missing, and they have no idea where these kids are. Not that they're like gone, like swept away in the ocean or nothing like that. No, like they're just missing. Refugees somewhere, who knows where. Who knows? With all the human trafficking going on these days, you never know where they could be. They could be in Indonesia. talking about Hawaii there, you know, or still in Hawaii. I don't know, but it's pretty scary.
They could be getting trafficked in our own.
You remember
right
we
now.
talked about those one lasers over Maui?
Yeah.
A couple months ago, the green lasers that showed, and they said it was a geographical satellite. China, they had a geographical satellite, and it was repositioning, and it was just like 1 in a million shots that it just everything lined up to where you can see these green lasers. Like you're not supposed to see. That doesn't make me feel any better, you know. It's
but
like
1 in a million chance, but it happened.
right, but it still happened, and even though if it didn't, we wouldn't even know that the chances it's up there watching. Geographical my ass. We already know about the freaking balloons. So now and then talk about lasers in Maui. You know, I don't know. I heard the mayor is pretty much eminent domaining all of the land possible, like the destroyed land. Not giving people an option to rebuild, just like forcing them out. You know, but they say he's been bought. You know, it's pretty sad because a lot of people died.
Yeah, that is sad.
It's the worst natural disaster or wildfire Hawaii's ever seen. Probably, you know, as far as devastation, probably
prime
running up there with the
prime
state.
real estate too.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, well, there was they were going to say, oh, this is their way of making it into a 15-minute city. I don't really see that. What I see it is another.
They're probably going to make it for tourism. You know,
it will either for tourism for the billionaires or a getaway, a safe haven for the billionaires
yeah.
that can afford to buy that property
Yeah.
and build their big plantations and stuff like that over there. Because that's what Oprah's got. She's the largest farm landowner in Maui.
Is she really?
Yeah, she's got. But is it open to the refugees?
What
people?
does she use it for?
I don't know. They might farm something, and who knows? I mean,
She ain't farming shit.
she's good. I'm not gonna go there. Anyways, yeah, I don't know what she's got going on, but there's other people there that have like billionaires that got their property there, and they didn't lose their homes.
Yeah, because they got a blue roof.
But they say it's like a historic district. There was still buildings there from the last king of Hawaii,
Wow.
which was, I don't know, 20s. I'm not sure when Hawaii became a state, but it was
Did you guys see the hurricane in California and the earthquake?
yeah, a lot of I didn't know about an earthquake, but
There was an earthquake happened too at the same time that the hurricane was happening.
that's not good.
Yeah.
I
Two
don't
at the
think
same
my
time.
chat's working.
It's
Two at the
crazy.
same time.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
A hurricane and an earthquake was happening at the same time.
yeah, that's pretty scary. I don't think I would like to live where the ground shakes.
No, I think I'm pretty good.
Yeah, I'm gonna pass on that. I don't know if all this is even working, and maybe Sean fell asleep. Anyways, that's all I got for tonight.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
it's
think
about
so.
time to wrap it up.
I think that's all I got for tonight as well. Just, stay positive and think positive.
Give us a like, a follow.
Don't, give us a like, a follow. Don't be influenced by none of these
Influencers.
non-influencers. Be you. Don't try to be somebody else you're not. That's it.
Vince, anything?
No.
Alright, let's get out.
All right, we're out.
Later. I can do a Joe Madden.
He just got fucked up.
My head was hurting. I'll tell you why.